This year, in 2026, we celebrate America's 250th anniversary, and it got me thinking about our own history right here in Souderton. This is a place where generations of people have built their lives, their businesses, and their families. Your home, the land that it sits on, the businesses you enjoy, and the institutions you rely on, they didn't just pop up in the time that you've needed them, and I think we take for granted those that came before us that made our community what it is today. And so the goal of this podcast is to interview Souderton Legends, just some of the people that made significant contributions to our community in their time. For some listeners, this may be a walk down memory lane, and for many, I hope it serves as a reminder and an inspiration to do good in your community in your time here. I'm Mayor of Souderton, Dan Yoakum, and welcome to the Souderton Legends Podcast. And today, we're talking to a real legend. When people reminisce about their time here in Souderton and have fond memories of this place, there is one business that comes to mind no matter what generation they're in, and that is Miller's Variety Store. And so today we're joined by the owner of that legendary establishment, Mr. John Butterwick. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Former owner. Retired.
Long retired.
Long retired.
Well, John, we're so ecstatic to have you. You are truly a legend. Everybody remembers Miller's, and everybody remembers John Butterwick.
I think it's important, first of all, to tell you folks that the most important time, our situation in my life, was the birth of my son, John David Butterwick, 63 years ago. All else is secondary. But we could talk about Miller's stores and other stores with a lot of interest and what brought people to town, what kept people away from town, all the things that happened here, sidewalk sales, road car races. The car races, when I owned Miller's, they didn't have any. They were canceled before that, and then they were started after that.
This is the soapbox derby.
Soapbox derby.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That used to be a big boon for Main Street.
My Uncle Asher, I think, was the starter forever.
Yeah.
Asher Stout.
Asher Stout.
Asher H. Stout, yeah.
Well, they did get canceled as I think participation waned a little, but in the day they were a huge draw.
Oh my goodness!
We had a great hill for it.
Yep.
Not so great for business, that hill, but good for soapbox derbies. So, John, before we dive into it, we can talk about anything you want to talk about today, but I would love to know, first of all, if you don't mind telling us how old you are right now.
90 years young.
You look great.
Thank you.
And tell us how your Souderton story, per se. Where did you grow up? How did you get here?
Born and raised in Sellersville. Had enough money to go to Strasbourg College for 1 year. Elected not to go back so that I wouldn't burden my parents with paying for my brother's education. He needed the college education more than I did. So after 1 year, I didn't care for it anymore. I ran out of money, as I said, and I told my girlfriend, and she told her mother, and then she told her mother that, I'm not going to go with John Butterwick anymore, but I'm dating his best buddy weekdays while he's at school. I think, to me, that's really big for. Well, when I was confronted with that, I said, well, don't bother talking to him anymore. It took him 20-some years before we talked together. But Helen Health worked for Miller's on Fridays and Saturdays, along with Papa Yoda's wife in the garment department. And Mrs. Health said to me, Mr. Miller's looking for help to open a new store in Montgomeryville. So I went down and had an interview, and I started stating the shelves after they were building them, 5 gallons of shellac or stain, rubber gloves, and cheesecloth. 9 hours a day, and I liked it. $40 a week. This is 1954.
Wow.
I like the surroundings. I like what was happening. The store was developing into counters, staying, inventory with fixtures, and then merchandise. The long story short there is, for the next 43 years, I was involved with the opening and closing of every store that Miller's ever had.
Wow.
And when I think back now, I had an important job. I didn't believe it. It was a job that paid well. I liked the people, and I did it day in, day out. Some days we worked 15 hours a day. Some days we only worked 8 hours a day. But boy, did I like that job. And did I like Mr. Miller and Ray Myers, his manager.
Mm-hmm. You did have an important job, because look at the legacy you left here in this town.
This I now know to be true. It's like I'm patting myself on the back. But
you're allowed to. That's why you're here as a legend. We're patting you on the back.
Okay. How many people have you interviewed so far?
Oh, this is number 10.
Really?
Yep. And some of the other people include Tom Leidy.
Yeah.
And John Ruth.
Yeah.
And Dick Shoemaker. And Al Grandy. We've had some Esther Stout. Who is she related to you?
Not that stout.
That's a different stout.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we've had a good. You are amongst a great lineup of legends that we've talked to.
So you've talked to a variety of people that I could tell more about Miller's stores, if you will.
I would love that. Yeah, I mean, it started for people that might not know. Can you tell us where it was?
106 Main Street.
The place, 106 Main Street.
That was there.
Right. It's Keystone Opportunity Center now.
Yeah. They bought it from the former owners, former people that did the same thing with Dick Detweiler. Dick Detweiler had a 2-hour tape of me several years ago when I was in better shape.
Don't say that. You look great.
I said something to Dick one time. I said, I want you to buy my store. I'm going to sell it eventually. I've got a plan of when, but I know you have to scrounge around for money.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me with a real estate salesman, Paul. He's since passed away. He sold real estate.
Mm-hmm.
We came up with an offer that everybody was happy with.
And this is Dick Detweiler, because at the time he was the director of Keystone.
He was a clerk at Keystone.
Right.
Yeah. And he said to me one time, he said, we're getting fax machines, the fax calls. I said, I'll take care of that. I got a fax machine, self-dedicated phone. I said, whenever you have one to send or receive from anywhere in the world, I want the bill.
Mm.
We didn't show generosity a lot like Walmart or other stores do. So I get the bill from Bell Telephone in those days, and give it to him. He tally it up, and this is from all over the world. And then I paid it on tax. There's a tax deduction, big deal. One of the unique things was, fella came in the store one day, big fella. And I went and sent the fax to Africa. They need to know how to dig wells.
Hmm.
How much is a fax going to cost? Oh, it's covered. Oh, that's nice. 2 or 3 weeks later, he came running in with tears in his eyes. We're digging water in Africa.
Wow.
That to me paid for everything.
Who knew Miller's was in the fax business?
Yeah. We probably had the first fax machine for the public.
Wow.
Possibly. Now, another fellow came in one time, all long hair. He looked like he was a would-be businessman. He said, I've got 10 pages to fax. I said, well, the first page, $1, that's what the basis for it is. And then every other page after that gets scaled down. I said, okay, do it. Then ask him for cash. The bill came in to around $15. He said, I don't want it. And he walked out.
Too late.
You let it go. You
Right.
let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next customer that comes in, you treat very nice.
Yeah.
And you learn quickly, somebody's got a feather up their fanny way. They've got to have it there.
And tell us, John, so I think the business was originally Klein's. Is that right?
Klein's owned it. It was really a home, and before that, it was a home of the furniture company across the street on front. Can't think of the name right now.
Right.
I want to throw in a little shoplifting story, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Montgomeryville Merchandise Mart. I ran that store from the time I was 18 until I went in the Army. Two ladies came in the store one day with brown bags, and they dropped glass baby bottles on the floor, and they dropped. It got my attention. So I did a little sneaky thing, looked around. They picked them up, put in their bag, and walked out the front of the store, down the aisle. Now with adults, I would want to make sure they left the store for sure. They walked outside
With stuff in their pockets.
with these glass baby bottles, 8 ounces. They might have had half a dozen or so. And I said, stop. She started to run. Now, being born, knowing the 10 Commandments, I knew it was stealing. So I was ticked off. I wrestled her to the ground.
Wow.
In this day and age, I'd be in jail.
Sure.
And one of the shopping security people walked by and said, what's going on here, Butterwick? I said, well, these people stole from me. Oh, so I took them to the office. They paid a fine. I don't know what it was. And that was it. A month or two later, I was drafted into the Army. And sometime after a couple of months in there, I got a letter from Mr. Miller and some paperwork that, guess what? Who was caught stealing in our South Broad Street store? The same ladies.
So, oh my.
I had probably over 1,000 shoplifting cases in my life.
Wow. Well, you sold.
We sold so many things.
Right. Yeah, we can get. I'd love to talk about that too. About because that leads into what I think people would love to hear, which is, so when they walked through the front door of Miller's, what do you remember that it looked like? What's the smell of it? The look of it? What were you selling? All that.
It just happens. They don't seem to have a sneaky, peeky look.
I just mean the general, not necessarily people who are looking to do wrong, just the general public.
Only a few.
Right.
Kleptomaniacs, maybe.
Sure. But when the people who will fondly remember Miller's as regular customers, what did they see when they first walked in? Tell us what it was like in there.
Full of merchandise.
Full.
Floor to ceiling.
I remember that. Yeah.
Many departments, really big departments. Back to shoplifting for one of them for kids.
Yeah.
And all the years that I stopped them, turned them over to the police or their parents, we never adjudicated one. Because I'm under the impression if a kid is arrested, something can come along down the road that could cost him a very good job. So I let it go at that.
And when kids were when the police were involved at your Souderton location, they were coming to the room that we're sitting in now, which was Borough Hall, is now Allebach Communications.
99% of my cases were not in Souderton.
Well, that's good to hear.
That's good to hear. But back to what we were talking before.
About all the stuff. Tell us what Miller's was like.
The first thing people saw when they walked in our store was a candy counter. And boy, did we sell candy. Gruff Candy Company was our principal supplier.
Which was made right here.
Right here in Souderton. They moved up to outside of Bethlehem. Peter Dennis. They were big customers of ours. A spin-off of that, I got a truckload of merchandise from one of our suppliers. By accident, they shipped 1,000 complete sets of baseball cards to a small store like ours. Now, I know from experience that truck's next stop was over in the Jersey Shore to pick up a full tractor trailer load of merchandise. So I said to the truck driver, get your dispatcher, we're going to make a deal. I talked to the guy, I said, what kind of deal do you want? I said, well, I know they're worth maybe at most $8 or $10 a set. I'll give you $2 a set. I'll send the check right away. Done.
That's a good way to wheel and deal.
It didn't happen often, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then who was my first customer? Peter Dennis, because they were a wholesale drug and candy.
Mm-hmm.
I said, how many do you want? And we made a nice deal. He was happy, I was happy.
Mm.
Didn't do that all the time, but those are the things that have come back to me now.
Yeah, right.
And Jamie Moyer bought his first set of baseball cards at Miller's Variety Stores.
Now that is a legendary story.
Yeah.
That Jamie Moyer bought his first set of baseball cards at Miller's.
People pay their phone bill in the store. And that was another story. We got 10 or 15 cents per transaction. Now, being somewhat frugal, all those dimes and 15 cents that we got paid was kept in a separate account. Then I never touched that account until I retired.
15 cents at a time.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, saying maybe 1,000 a month, 100.
Wow.
But that was the way I felt it was do business.
So you had the candy counter and then a store packed full of all kinds of stuff. What were some of the other kind of things that you sold?
You could go down one aisles and have an art goods department, sewing goods department, full of thread. Buy one. You don't have to buy a whole pack. You buy one of them. Art goods with rug yarn, and embroidery floss. Some people hear that and they say, "Oh, I know that." But now, quick flip over to where I live. When I was first introduced at the Souderton home, my wife and I, people looked at me. That's Mr. Miller.
Oh, I'm sure you
And the
get.
fellow was introduced. No, that's not Mr. Miller. That's John Butterwick.
I'm sure you get that all the time.
That came often. Yeah.
Right. Well, you actually owned the store longer than Mr. Miller, I think.
I don't think so, but close to it.
Yeah, close to it, and certainly are a recognized. You were in the modern memory. You are the recognizable owner of that business.
And I worked the floor all the time, day and night. When I bought the stores, I went to being open 5 nights a week, 9 to 8, Saturday 5. Tried Sundays, it didn't work. I bought a little television set to watch the Eagles game.
Because you were there all the
Because
time.
I was there on Sundays, and that didn't work either. So I sold the television set and didn't open Sundays anymore. But people who shop Sundays shopped in other stores, but maybe not Miller, so that's okay.
So you bought the business. You started working in the business in 1954 as a teenager, basically.
Yes, yeah.
And that was a really long time. That was 72 years ago, John, that you started working there.
Yeah,
That's a long time, a lifetime.
to remember it.
And then you bought the business in what year?
76,
Yep. The
200s. That would have been like the 210th anniversary of the founding of our country, or
200th, yeah.
200, whatever it was. Yeah. Balloon, we sold a lot of balloons. Halloween costumes. We bought them made in Collegeville. Mr. Miller was in charge of buying the Halloween suits and the other stuff. Big business. But people decorated with masks and face to cover themselves up. Little by little, they got away from face masks. They got away from full masks. Ray and I would make a special trip to New York City for toys, but especially for Halloween goodies. And we sold a lot of Halloween stuff.
And other holiday stuff, I think.
And Christmas was a huge department. I can remember getting in truckloads of Christmas paper when we only had maybe 4 stores. Popular.
Did you do the wrapping?
Well, we had a gift wrapping department. Not me, no.
I know that my family had a somewhat similar business up the street, and my father is an expert gift wrapper.
Okay.
That did not pass down to me. I can't do it at all.
No. I was definitely left-handed for some things, but I did, really, that was something else. Yeah.
So tell me about in 1976, you're a young man But you've been working there for 20 years.
Yeah, 20,
So
23, whatever.
Mr. Miller wanted to retire, and
Yeah.
and then you tell us how you came to acquire the business.
We went for a ride one day. We talked about some things. One or two things that are personal and will remain personal. But he said, "You'll make it." We made settlement with the same attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Saves money there.
Sure.
Dealt with Union Bank.
Union National, yeah.
Had an offer from a Citibank, but I thought it would be best to stay with them. When I bought them, it took some money. One source came from a building that I owned on Main Street, and I wanted to keep it in the worst way. Today it's just a pizza shop, still a pizza shop.
Oh, in the hollow there?
And the hollow,
Oh.
yeah.
What did you, when you owned that building, what was it? Was it a business?
It was a warehouse. 4 apartments upstairs, and retail. I turned it into retail, and the basement was used as a warehouse for our store.
That's New Station Pizza
New Station
now.
Pizza. Over the years, we had a variety of warehouses.
Well, you're quite an entrepreneur, John.
Well, we had a inventory on Front Street, maybe 20 feet wide, and about a bowling's length.
A bowling.
It was a bowling alley. A lot of people don't remember that as a bowling alley.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
That's because you needed space to store.
We needed space.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because Miller's was not, it seems big in my memory, but it's not a big building.
we used every square inch of it.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's why it's so beloved, was so beloved. 'Cause
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
buy anything there.
Yeah. Toys, probably the biggest selling thing in the whole store was the toy department. We did sell 115 different games, if you can count that many. Now, Mr. Miller belonged to a buying syndicate, and one of the owners his name was I. Miller from Hamburg. And he, by mistake, got a hold of the invoice for Milton Bradley Games. And he said to Mr. Miller at one of the meetings, "Is it true John bought that much Milton Bradley Games and toys?" He said, "Yes." "How did it sell?" "Well, he had to go and get more from the wholesaler."
Wow. Because that's how,
It showed you that we did well with the market. We sold through the market.
yeah.
Not everything sold well through the market, but I remember when Scrabble came out. Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that just doesn't exist in the modern world. You know, people don't shop like that anymore at a store like that, which is probably, this is a little bittersweet, but that's,
Yeah,
you know, it came to an end in, I think, 97.
yeah.
But you had a long run. I mean,
Yeah. I retired at 61. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Mayor.
You're fine. Oh, please.
But I retired at 61 because I was getting married again.
Oh, right.
And I could have worked 4 more years. But what for? I counted the pennies, and I knew what it was going to cost to go to up here. And I knew what it cost to go to Rock Hill, et cetera, et cetera. And we picked that one.
And you're like the mayor of Souderton Mennonite Home at this point, I think.
I hear that rumor floating all around all the time. It's not true. I seldom leave my section.
Well, no, maybe these days, but you certainly are well known. Anytime I actually was just reading the Branching Out magazine.
Oh, yeah.
From Living Branches, and you're on the cover, I think.
Oh, Mr. What's his name? Brubaker. And then his assistant. Two wonderful people to work with and talk with and get things done.
And when they opened the new wing of Souderton Mennonite Home, you cut the ribbon. That's because you're a legend, John.
That's because I was there.
That's not true. Lots of people were there, but you are a Souderton legend. That is for sure.
And people are going to read this?
What, this?
Yes, yeah.
No, they'll listen. Maybe 2 people will listen to it, but that'll be good enough for me.
Are you going to eventually put this into format in your?
Mm-hmm. We'll put it on the internet somehow. I'll make sure you get a copy.
I don't have internet.
Well, we'll get.
I don't have anything.
We'll have Michelle.
Michelle can take
She'll
it.
show it to you.
What a wonderful doll she is, Michelle.
Yeah. So another thing I want to talk about, another reason I think you're a legend. The business is iconic. Everybody remembers Miller's, and everybody remembers you being a part of Miller's. But another thing is you were really involved in other business activities in Souderton. Do you remember any of those? Like you told me a great story about the balloon store.
Oh, the one where they were bankrupt?
Well, yeah. Tell us.
Well, she paid her phone bill there faithfully. And she came in one day and said, the IRS is here. They're closing me up. Why don't you get out and buy it? Well, I knew very little about inflatable balloons. Blow them up, sell them.
Right.
When I walked in that store, Mayor, I saw thousands of balloons. Mylar, individual balloons, thousands of them. And I walked around and looked like I knew what I was doing. And I said to these fellas, oh, by the way, I heard the wife of the one say, I want to go to the seashore this weekend. Let's get this deal over quickly. Don't tell the IRS that'll be back for boom. I walked around, looked at it, kind of some things, and I said, well, this is what I can offer, and I can have the cash in about an hour or 2. You can? I said, yeah, the bank's right up here. I come there and write a check. Oh, by this time I was established that thousands of dollars were easier to come by than they were in the beginning.
And that was a place that sold balloons on Main Street where I don't know what it's actually a winery now, if you can believe that.
Where at?
Where the balloon store was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that used to be the sewing shop.
Oh, the sewing machine.
And to fill in, and after that, it was owned by a man by the John Miller. Watch repair, stuff like that. He's over in Harleysville Mall.
Okay.
For many years, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are the kind of things you really were an entrepreneur in Souderton. But also, in addition to that, I think you were involved in other things like the Board of Trade.
Yeah.
And so talk about those things and the other businesses that you interacted with and the owners of them.
Well, the Board of Trade was a very strong entity. But little by little, we were losing membership. Stores were closing. We were down to like 2 people. 3 people, maybe. Pat Deal, daughter of one of the former mayors. We worked at it. We got it started back up. And then another fellow got involved. He says, I think we need to get a list of all the stores in Souderton. And this fellow did that. I don't know how much he got paid for anything like that, but it really worked out well. There were over 100 retail stores.
Wow.
In the Souderton borough. I'm talking about the borough, not nothing else around there.
That's hard to believe now.
Now, somewhere in all your stuff, you've had some of those advertisements.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
I'm sure they had that.
Including a huge amount from Miller's. You had every advertising gimmick in the book, I think.
Yeah. I think it's nice that you're joining together with Telford insofar as a museum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For listeners, John donated a lot of stuff to the Historical Society from Miller's, and the Souderton Telford Historical Society has tried to display it, but it is on display.
Which what?
It is on display. It's just there's not a great place to show it to the public, but we'll find a way. So there's 100 businesses and retail businesses in the borough of Souderton you're probably talking about the mid-'70s. That's amazing. Can you talk about any of the other business owners that people might also remember, like they remember John Butterwick?
Jake Frederick, B. Frederick, icons.
Mr. Souderton.
Mr. Souderton. The Mr. Souderton forever. Ted Boyer. Mm-hmm. He's the fellow that's responsible for developing these sweatshirts and T-shirts.
John is wearing the best sweatshirt. It says it has an image on the front. It says London, Paris, Rome, Souderton.
And the picture of the Souderton is a train.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently a fellow by the name of, what's his name? He founded this town.
And Henry Souder.
Henry Souder, no. And he made sure they dug the hole up to Sellersville.
Yeah, right. That was even, nothing's before your time, but that was even before your time,
John. I read some history too, yeah. Other people, well, I remember Renrig hardware store. They took it over from Francis. And of course, Shelley and Fenstermacher. Shelley and Fenstermacher. They went by the wayside for what they did.
Can you hear that? Funny enough that you just mentioned the train. Can you hear it? It's going off. It's passing us now. Jake Frederick, of course, a legend. He would be on this couch if he was still alive today. He was Mr. Souderton. They owned Frederick's shoe store for generations.
Yes.
And he was part of the centennial celebration that I think you had a hand in, correct?
I was involved in some of those things too, yeah. Which were great one of the T-shirts. If there's a T-shirt out there available, get it down to these people and give it to them. The T-shirt had a display of each and every item that was in the centennial, Ferris wheel, all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
We sold tons of them. Along those same lines, the spin-off was this. We sold hundreds of teenagers T-shirts, and this particular one was popular for the centennial. We were out of them. So Wayne Beck, who rented a space out halfway up Main Street, started printing them. He brought them down under his arm on Weil Avenue because Main Street was busy. Put them out on the counter, sold them just like that. Yeah.
Well, people took a lot of pride in this town.
Yeah, I had T-shirts in mind as a good item for our stores because I couldn't imagine Woolworth or Woolco doing it the same way I did it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
One of my employees said, John, I want you to make a half a dozen or dozen T-shirts of the street on which I live, 220 Noble Street. I remember that today.
No, people don't do that anymore, but people are proud to be here, but they definitely had some local pride.
There's some local pride there.
Then, yeah.
The last time I saw her, Nancy and I were visiting Souderton home. We hadn't fully made up our mind. And in one of the memory sections was this lady.
Oh, wow, small world.
I looked at her. She smiled at me. I think she knew me. I didn't know for sure. I went out and gave her a great big hug. Then I knew that she knew me.
Yeah. Oh, well, you made a huge difference in people's lives. Just, maybe, like you said at the beginning of this, you were owning a store, you were running your day-to-day business. You were not thinking about how iconic it would be one day, but it really is. It really is.
Yeah, it is for sure.
How about some other Souderton things like you talked about the soapbox derby, you talked about the Board of Trade. Parades were a big thing back then, and Miller's was involved in those.
Santa Claus parade, big deal. There's Santa Claus, the kid yelled down from the top of the fire as I'm standing in front of the that's Santa Claus.
And then I think Santa probably came to Miller's at some point. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, well, how about any other, we talked about Jake's, Renrigs, and where were you living this whole time? Were you still in Sellersville? You ever lived in Souderton?
No, I didn't. Probably should have. I moved from the big city of Sellersville to Hatfield Borough, where my first wife lived.
Okay.
Our deal was that if we joined her church, we'd live near her. If we joined my church at Sellersville, we'd join my church. Sellersville, whether Reformed or Lutheran, but made no difference. So yeah, I had to 3.5 mile trip every day.
Not a bad commute. And then you skipped right over Souderton and moved to Franconia Township into Souderton Mennonite Home.
Yeah, that was it.
Good. Well, and this is a good opportunity, John. You're a man that lived through a lot of Souderton's prime history, especially in the business community. So any other memories you want to talk about?
Yeah. And again, it involves me.
I'm glad it does. Please do.
The last day I was in business, the counters were virtually empty. I was going to say the Board of Trade and the Union Bank brought in some food. You bring in food, you bring in people. I don't know how many people came in that day, but this young fella came in. He not only worked for me, but he had some problems. So he came up to me with his wife and his 2 children, all well dressed. And he said, "This is Mr. Butterwick. These are my 2 children. He turned my life around." I said, "No, Dan, you turned your life around."
Wow.
Those I remember. I've had a few of those.
Yeah.
And I've had a few people that said other things about me, but not that many.
That's amazing. I mean, you employed a lot of young people, and you're a mentor and a friend to many, and that comes through even now.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I think we've used up an hour.
I have no idea. Has it been an hour? I can see on the screen. Yeah, it's been about an hour. Well, John, this has been wonderful. I appreciate you being here and all of your time in service to Souderton.
Thank you very much for that. I didn't know how much I loved the store and loved the town until I was fully retired. I didn't realize all that was there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I think of anything else really, really important, I will later.
Sure.
I'm
sure we could talk all day, but what people will remember is that Miller's was a legendary store run by a legendary man, John Butterwick.
So many people. After church yesterday, Sunday, one of the guys knew there, shops at Miller's. He said, "Well, you're going to open a little store now. It's Sunday afternoon."
Well, you're 90 years young.
Yeah. I thought I would be able to forget everything, but it's been opened up.
Well, that's good. That's sort of the goal of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to go back to the thing that you said at the start of this, which is that Miller's was a wonderful part of your life, but the most important part of your life was the birth of your son.
Yeah.
John David Butterwick.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be listening.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate you. I appreciate our friendship, and thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep.